No?
Oh.
We're live. I accidentally hit the button.
Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's show. I'm so sorry, but we're not going to have Jennifer Collins tonight. There's freezing weather in Truro and Mount Tom, and it's probably headed this way, but safety is the better part of valor, so we decided that tonight we would continue with Brooms Part 2 with Stuart, and next week we're going to have Jennifer, hopefully, start praying to all the gods for better weather, and Jennifer will be here. It's not that she didn't want to be, it's just, I just don't want to drive in the freezing rain. Nobody wants that, and plus she'd have to drive here in it, and then drive back home possibly in it, if it's making its way over the mountain over to us. So, Jennifer won't be with us tonight, we do apologize for that, and you know, it is our goal to get her on the show as soon as possible, so weather permitting next week. So that's number one being said, and we're going to say that later when we get more people live, watching and logging on. So the other thing, on this camera, I think we'll get a really good view of the picture that Jim Frazier was kind enough to donate for the silent auction to raise money for better camera equipment, because if we were talking about this, if we had better camera equipment, better mics and stuff like that, we would have been able to have Jennifer on the phone with us tonight. And that would have been interesting. It would have been a way we still could have had her with us tonight doing her show. It would have been better in person, of course, but so I'm going to put that.
It would also allow us to later on outsource to people who are even out of province, even and not and even outside of the local area, because we could have them live video with us, and it could allow us to reach people across Canada or even across the world.
So I do want to say right now, our little show is actually going global. We have viewers in the UK, and we have viewers in Colombia, and in January we'll have viewers in Australia. So that's pretty impressive for a little hour-long, once-a-week show from Pictou County. We're pretty excited about that. We're going global, and when we get our online store, we'll be able to sell.
Exactly.
Online, globally too. So, what else? Yule.
Yeah.
Yule.
Okay.
And we should do a little plug for Trish too for her Yule ceremony.
I'll let you do that because I don't know too much about it.
I should have wrote it down.
Okay. This Friday, just a reminder again that we have our little Yule party at the community center in the Allen Park. It's potluck, and anyone who wants to bring anything is more than welcome to, but you don't have to bring anything to participate.
No.
Everyone is more than welcome. We're hoping to see everyone there.
Oh, I think it would be a great time. It will actually give us a chance to all socialize a bit more.
Nanny Jackie says hi, everyone.
Hey, Mom, how are you? Sorry it's not Jennifer tonight, but just us again.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's the 18th. I think I have it written down on the board. The 20th, December 20th. Trish and Stan of Happy Hippie Haven have invited anybody who wants to go to their Yule ceremony. On the closed group, they posted the ceremony once again. And it was a wonderful experience last time. I know there's a couple people here. Actually, quite a few people that are here actually went to the Samhain. And so we've been invited back again to share in their Yule Festival. If anybody's interested, get a hold of us and we can give you the details. What else is there? I know, we're really not prepared for this.
No. We were expecting to have a guest tonight, so and that's what usually.
For that.
Yeah.
Got our questions ready.
Is there anything?
And you only won a TEF. Am I saying that right?
Coming up.
Yes.
What?
Coming up. Mystic Mike.
Yeah, but first I want to firm it up with Mike. As firm as you can with the weather that we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be joining us in the new year on a podcast, and Stuart only has one TEF left, so
yes,
we need to do filler time.
Yes.
A little bit of filler time.
Let's see. The only thing that I could think of is we could mention some of the things we have coming in the new year.
Yes, go for it.
Starting in the new year, we have a lot of things in the works. We are going to have Robin offering astrology natal charts. She was our guest last week.
I want to point out too, Robin's dropped off gift certificates.
Okay. As Carrie was just mentioning, she actually dropped off gift certificates. So you can actually buy a gift certificate and give it to someone for Christmas. So they can have that ready for the new year.
That natal chart.
Should we mention the price?
Yeah.
Okay. We finally worked out the price for it, and it is $70 for the full.
There's a
needle
sample.
chart.
Jim, see that basket over there? There's a thing in a
We
plastic
have a
sleeve.
sample here in the store for anyone who is interested in coming down and seeing what you actually do get in it. If you better...
and you're doing the free reading at the end of the night for everybody. So, people, we just, oh my gosh, we're slack. We just weren't prepared for the show. I'm so sorry. Get a pen and write your number down. People, start getting ready to guess your number. At the end of the night, if you have the correct number, Stuart will be giving you a free online reading. So he's getting his number written now. So I'm going to go over a little bit of what you'll be getting with your astrology report. You'll be getting your birth wheel, of course. And it will tell you your Virgo sign, your Libra sign, like in your houses and everything like that. It's quite extensive. There's several pages back and front with everything. And it's going to be written in a way. I'm just going to give an example. This is a made-up chart for nobody that we actually know. It says, all about you. You are very attuned to the emotional reactions of others. You often have powerful prophetic dreams. Sometimes it's hard for you to be at the right place and the time, and therefore can't depend on the cooperation of others. This sometimes makes you feel as if you're emotionally alone against the world. And she goes on to say more. But it's written in a way that you can understand. And that's what we really like.
Yes.
So that anybody can understand their own natal chart instead of forget everything. But yeah, it's quite extensive, this natal chart. So this will be your natal chart with Robin.
Podcast.
So, what else? Oh, the workshops?
Yes. Starting in the new year, we're also going to be doing workshops. They are going to be run in conjunction with our community nights. And the current plan is that we're going to have our community night, and the community night will be like a small little introductory chance to get a feel for, and then we'll have the workshop in the following week.
Yeah.
The workshops will have a charge associated with them, but we've did some thinking and talking about it, and we may offer some specials and discounts off of the
But the
cost
charge
of this.
is for the teachers.
Yes.
It's to pay the teachers because they deserve something for their time, and you actually get to bring something home of whatever it is that week.
Yes. But I was sort of saying is that we might offer a slight discount to some of the workshops if you make a purchase in store, if the item is relevant to the workshop, and that'll kind of be like a deduction to the cost of the workshop itself rather than having to pay and get your item there. You can get it in advance.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to having that there, and like we said, it'll be a chance for you to be more of an in-depth.
It will be extensive, more extensive. So that's another of the new things that we're trying to do in the new year.
Jen Gillis says hi.
Hi Jen, how are you? So we've had more viewers get on, so I think we'll apologize again for the people that are coming in. We're so sorry Jennifer isn't with us tonight because of bad weather in Truro, and we don't want to road on slippy, icy roads. She will be here next week. Tonight we're going to do part 2 of Runes, basically when we were speaking to her about, what, 5:30?
Yeah. No, it wasn't even 5:30. It was only maybe about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. She was at the garage getting gas, trying to get here. She's like, but it's freezing rain. So we come up with the idea that her and Stuart would switch nights. So Jennifer Collins will be with us next week, weather permitting.
Okay.
Crystal says hi, guys.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi,
how
Crystal.
are you?
So I think that's all that we have for announcements.
I think so,
too.
So we'll let you get into showing us more about the runes. Especially, I think people are we're selling a lot more runes.
We are.
So I definitely say there's a lot more interest in them, and give people more information.
Okay. So tonight's plan is to finish the final Edith, and we are then going to, depending on how much time we have left, possibly talk about talismans and amulets a little bit, involving the runes in them. So the last Edith is the Heaven family, and it starts off with the rune Tewaz. It is the rune for arrow and warrior, and is affiliated with the god Tyr.
I'm going to interrupt for a second.
Okay.
I was reading something on Facebook, and it said that people are naming their kids Arrow. it's on the top 1,000 birth chart list for 2016. I actually feel bad for kids named Arrow.
I do too.
Arrow.
I've seen a few names for kids out there that make me
suck because her last name was Barr.
Arrow Barr. That's what Jim said sitting here. It'd suck if their last name was Barr.
So it is the rune for sacrifice, courage, justice, to be intrigued in something. For it is also used to symbolize a leader and success, and it is also the rune for a man or a male influence. When it is in reverse, it is a sign of listlessness, questionable motives, mental stagnation, to be wronged or to suffer an injustice.
What? Put Jennifer Collins. Sorry, we're just making an announcement on the page.
It is a sign for war and conflict, and also separation.
Well, I guess any kid with a name like Arrow has a pretty serious destiny set out for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're warriors.
Okay, next we have Bear Kano, and it is the rune for birch and purity, and is associated with the goddess Hulda. It is a symbol of birth, the great mother, creation, growth, new beginnings, and the season of spring. When it is in reverse, it is a sign of anxiety, abandonment, loss of control, family problems, and the loss of a child.
That's a sad one.
Depends on if it's in reverse or if it's...
Just like my cards, when they're in reverse, a lot of them are sad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next, we have Awaz. It is the rune for horse and progress, and it is associated with the goddess Freya. It is a symbol of the future, movement, trust, loyalty, teamwork, and confirmation, so it has something beside it. When it is in reverse, it is a sign of change, restlessness, to do something very hastily, mistrust.
That's my stone.
An overly long journey or a sudden change. So if you can have this, because it's...
Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. That is not, I do everything hastily. It takes me 5 minutes to make a decision, an important, life-changing decision. I woke up one day and said...
We'll tell you tomorrow.
Yeah. I woke up one morning and said, I want to open up a store. That was in June. I opened up in July.
5 months later, and we're still here.
Yeah, very hasty. I'm going to frame that. Put it on my bed.
So next we have Manas, and it is the symbol, it is the rune for human and self, and it is associated with the god Frigg, the god Odin and the goddess Frigg equally. It is a symbol of thought and to think. It is a sign of creation, modesty, attitude, social activity, divinity, and to seek help from others.
You know, I'm very well acquainted with the god Frigg, goddess Frigg.
Yeah,
Every time I stub my toe, Frigg!
Yep. When it is in reverse, it is a sign of depression, morality, being delusional, to be dealing with something that is cunning, to be manipulated, and to lack help. Having one of those days where you look at a word, it's like, what is that again?
I think, too, it's the whole we were not prepared.
Yeah. Last time I was actually expecting to do
it,
and today it's just like, oh, by the way, last minute.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, we have Kyle watching the stream. So come on with your questions and let us know. Store's more than happy to answer them.
Mm-hmm. So our next rune... Oh, excuse me. Our next rune is Lagus. It is a sign for water and emotion, and is associated with the spiritual entities known as the Nord. It is a sign of dreams, intuition, flow and movement, renewal, hidden psychic abilities, and it is also the sign for a woman. When it is in reverse, it is a sign that someone is trying to escape reality, face temptations and greed. It is a sign of overabundance and excess, and having or failing to adjust to a consequence.
That one's mine too. Thank you. The escape of reality. That's definitely me. I got a question for you.
Okay.
I was sitting here and concentrating and actually paying attention. Say, I know the runes are used for divination.
Yes.
But they're also used for talismans, charms, and protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if a person wanted a charm for protection for their house? What if a person wanted a charm for luck?
Okay.
What would you recommend?
I will cover that when we get to M's and talismans, actually.
Okay.
Okay. But save it for that.
I will try to remember it then.
Because I was going to actually give some examples of talismans and amulets and go a little bit into them, and
Perfect.
we actually had something similar to that recently designed. If I had known that I was going to be doing it tonight, I would have brought in some examples of talismans and amulets, maybe some sigils, some charms, kind of a thing. But I don't have anything with me, unfortunately, so we'll have to just go the best that we can.
I got another question, because you only have 3 of them left. Is natural materials better for runes, for divination, and for amulets and stuff? What would you recommend?
It depends on the person. Traditionally, they are usually made out of wood or bone, but at the same time, you can use stone. Most people choose and prefer to use a material that once held life.
So you couldn't use metal?
You can. You can use any material you want. Most people prefer to use natural, though, and traditionally, it is usually wood or bone or something that once held life, because it is thought that the runes are a symbol of life themselves and the different aspects of it. And in associating or incorporating, a material that once held life, it is thought to give the runes a better connection to that material.
Okay. Bigger mojo.
Yes. So things like bone, wood, antlers, leather even. I've seen amulets made out of leather. But things that once held life.
Or even like silk or cotton.
Yeah.
You can do up a little mojo bag.
Mm-hmm.
Put all your wealth in it. Put a protection symbol on it. Keep you from stealing your coin.
Okay. Our next one is Ingthaz. It is the rune for a hero and hidden potential, and it is associated with the god Ing. It is a sign for freedom, consequences, conclusions, common sense, to be at rest, relief, and self-direction. When it is in reverse, it is a sign of to move or to head in a direction without change, or to not have a clear path.
Jacqueline identifies with that rune.
You can get your paper in a second. It is a sign of impotence, so being less than your true self. It is a sign of trial and work without progress, so to do something without reward, and lack of progress. So this is going to go to our little friend here. We're almost done. Bandita. Oh, shoot. Okay. This is actually one of the runes I was going to talk about with the talismans. The second last one that we have is Oath Allah. It is the symbol for home and property and is associated with the god Odin. It is a symbol for the home, heritage, to overcome order in the sense of to have everything all together and in perfect alignment kind of thing. It is a sign of ownership, homeland, origin, and safety. When it is in reverse, it is a sign of recklessness, hopelessness, hassles, poverty, enslavement, to be bound, and homeless.
That's not a happy one, in reverse.
No. Some of them can be happy, some of them can't. And it's usually when a rune is in reverse, it means the opposite of whatever it means when it is standing straight. So hopefully no one has this rune here.
Yeah, no one identifies with it.
Yeah. So we are on our last one, and it is the rune Thagaz. It is associated with day or light and new ambitions, and it is associated with the god Heimdall. It is a sign of light, breakthrough, the higher consciousness and awareness, new plans, change, will, happiness, and balance. When it is in reverse, it is a sign for radical change, contemplating things endlessly, or for things to come to a sudden end and to know your limits. So, that ends the last Edith of the runes.
That's a good question.
How many stones to a kit?
There are... I'll talk about... And that's a little bit of a complicated answer because it depends on which set of runes you want to go with. The runes that I'm talking about today are the Elder Fukarth, and they have 24 in total. However, there are different rune sets. The or the Common Germanic has 26, and the Anglo-Saxon has 30, I believe. But most times, unless you're getting a custom-made set, it will be the Elder Fukarth set of runes. And I say that is a bit of a complicated answer because it depends on when and where you get your rune set as well. Up until the 1980s, there was only 24 runes in the Elder Fukarth. But after the 1980s, with a certain author popularized the runes, and he added a 25th rune, the blank rune.
Was it Tolkien?
No. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I had it before.
Thinking Lord of the Rings, and it's kind of runic description around the ring.
No, but
I'm a nerd.
in the 1980s, he published a book which popularized and modernized the runes that we know today, or how most people know the runes today. And he included a 25th blank rune, which would indicate no answer or no clear outcome, which is kind of counterintuitive to divination in itself. But before that, there was only 24. So most of the sets that we do have here in the store will only have 24 in them, because I personally do not include a blank rune in any sets that I make.
Some of the sets do have 25,
yes. Though. Yes. In the sets that do have 25, I've actually talked to some other people who do work with runes before, and they said that if you do have your 25th rune, if nothing else, it makes a good replacement if one of yours gets lost or broken.
True enough. So it's insurance.
Yes. Okay. So, on that note, we are going to go back to... Oh, excuse me. Can you pass me those, please? Thank you. So, now we are going to move on to the topic of talismans and amulets. Now, talismans and amulets are a form of jewelry or object which uses magical energy or enchantment in order to give a certain property or to provide some kind of a benefit. We'll start off with...
Do you have reverse have doubles?
There's a question.
Okay.
Hey, Jackie said, do have reverse have doubles.
Mom, we're not quite sure what you're asking. Oh, thanks, Crystal, about the window. Yeah, we did get a new window, everybody. Trying to bring more attention. Oh, and Saturday, the book signing. We're expecting quite a turnout for that. We've had people come into the store, some just to shake our hands for hosting the book signing, other people just confirming that Joan Baxter will be here on Saturday. So we're expecting quite a turnout for that book signing, so that will be interesting. So yeah, Mum, we're not quite sure what you're asking. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. But, so, with, amulets and talismans is a combination of runes and different materials in order to provide a certain benefit.
She wrote it again? My mom wants to know, does reverse have doubles?
I'm not exactly sure what she's asking.
Yeah, we're still not sure what you're asking. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just we're not focusing and getting it. I don't know.
But
could it have double meanings? Is that what you mean, Mom? So, anyways, we'll let you continue till Mom responds.
Okay. So we'll go back to what Carrie asked earlier about if we wanted a talisman or an amulet, talking about the protection of our home. In that case, we would probably go with a talisman or a charm, maybe a totem even, and we would probably incorporate the runes for home and property.
Not in reverse.
Not in reverse. The runes for protection and the runes for harmony. And you can put them in different forms, different patterns, and find a way that you like or that feels right for you kind of thing. And that's one example. Another example is maybe if you were into, let's see here. If you were a fighter, for example, or a boxer, maybe you did mixed martial arts, that kind of thing, you would probably... Just for an example, you could put the rune, you can make a talisman, for example, if you were a boxer, onto your boxing gloves with the runes for warrior,
arrow,
and the rune for strength. And it just goes on like that there, and it all depends on what you want done, really. And we are looking into having some general amulets and talismans into the stores soon. It's just a matter of me finding the time to sit down and get them done up. I've been pretty busy the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to a day off. Eventually.
I hear you there. You a little choir.
Maybe try it again. When you have a reverse stone, would there be 2 stones in a kit of this sign?
No. When you do a reading, you are either going to cast the runes or place them in the same way that you would tarot cards. So if the rune is facing upside down from you, or if the rune is facing face down, if you, like, for example, if you were using a card, if the rune was face down, then it would be in reverse. There's only... Well, I shouldn't say that. In most sets of runes, there is only one of each rune, unless you are using runic dice, in which case there will be multiple of the same rune. In which case, it would, again, go down to how it lands and in what position and what other runes it is associated with.
So, we hope that answers your question. Yes and no. Depends on which runes you buy.
Okay. So I guess I'll talk a little more about amulets and talismans. I'm sorry again, we weren't prepared for tonight. Amulets and talismans are usually jewelry, a necklace, a bracelet. Sometimes it can even be a belt buckle or even glasses. Even it can be a ring or anklet, anything that you wear on your body, kind of thing. A charm is usually something that is carried, so it's carried on your body, but not necessarily worn. So an example might be like a pocket angel or a worry stone, something along those lines, something you would carry in your pocket. A totem is something that is sort of like a centerpiece kind of thing, something you keep in your house in order to give off its presence and its energy. So an example could be something even simple as a cross would be an example of a totem. It's something that bears a certain mark in order to give a certain energy.
So could it be like one of the runic tea lights?
Yes, that would actually be an example of a totem.
Then I shall bring it down. You can tell everybody what symbol.
Okay. So this here is one of the, this would actually be an example of a totem. It's a tea light holder that we have here in the shop. And it has the rune for wealth on it.
Ooh, send that home.
Keep it here.
Yeah.
So, just for an example, this would be an example of a totem you would want to keep in your home if you want to bring wealth or prosperity to your home.
Let's get that sucker on the till.
Yeah, we'll try to shove it in there. Might take a couple of them.
Buy new camera equipment.
Yeah. But, we also have, for what I can see here, we have a candle holder with harmony, a candle holder with strength and good health.
For the boxers.
Mm-hmm. Or even, it could just be physical health in general.
True.
Physical strength. So if someone's sick. And I think that's all that we have in the store, because I don't see too many other examples. But
No,
like
the rest is rune stones.
Yes, but like I said, we are looking into getting some more of this stuff in the store soon. It's just a matter of having the time to actually do it. Another something that we also are looking into doing is getting sigils done up. That's something that also is related to runes. Sigils are another example of an amulet or a talisman or even a totem. It is a combination of runes and, in some cases, letters and different symbols in order to create a certain mark or design in order to invoke a certain thought, feeling, emotion, or energy. And they can be put on whatever you want in the same way that a talisman or amulet kind of thing, and it gives that property to that object. So that's all I can really think of off the top of my head, unless there's any more questions.
I don't have any more questions. Does any of you guys have any questions? We are so sorry, guys. We just weren't prepared for tonight.
Yes.
Maybe you guys could talk about looking at the pendulum up there, debunking some old myths, like Hollywood myths, stuff like that.
Yeah, we could do that. We still do have quite a bit of time for the show.
Yes.
A half hour. So what we're going to do now, folks, is we're going to debunk the stereotypes against a lot of the things we sell. Jim brought that idea up. What a great idea, Jim. So I think...
Maybe go for one that is easier to get.
Oh my god. Where's my tall son? There's my ladder. So I guess we're going to start with a sample. Pentacles. Pentacles, in today's day and age, have such a serious bad rap, right? Pentacles originally started out as symbols of protection.
Yes.
Kind of like runes.
They were actually associated with the goddess Venus.
Yeah.
And the symbol for the pentacle historically actually comes from the movement of the planet.
Yep.
If you watch Venus in the night sky over the course of a year, because of the way that the Earth rotates in conjunction to how it rotates, it will form a 5-pointed star over the course of a year in the sky.
So, in the 70s, you got this satanic cult that went mainstream, and they, excuse my language, bastardized the symbolism of a pentacle. But not only that, in Hollywood movies, when they started doing the movies, kind of like Golden Age of Hollywood, all the old black and whites, when they were doing their horror genres, because it was huge back then, they also misinterpreted it and gave the sensationalized view of pentacles. But they are originally symbols of protection. They're not a bad thing at all. And I find it so ironic when people will come in and they're totally into the stuff at the store, but they're like, oh, pentacles. It's like, read, educate yourself, learn. They're not a bad thing. They don't have a bad omen or bad energy or anything like that. They are a symbol of protection. Kind of how the Star of David for Jewish is a symbol. I'm assuming, I don't know a lot about Judaism, and I apologize for that. But I'm assuming it's a sort of protection.
Yes.
I'm assuming. So that is one of the ones that is misinformed. If you have any questions about anything, we're going to do our best we can to answer it for you, and we'd love to see you share your questions with us. Is there anything else any of you guys got questions about here?
Incense, you sell them? They're just not for dope smoking hippies?
No, they're not for dope smoking hippies. Incense, in some, like with Wiccan and stuff like that, some people think that burning certain incense attracts certain properties in your life. And when I was going through the order tonight, going through my wholesalers, I seen ones to attract wealth, ones to attract love, ones, so there is that. But the Catholic Church also uses incense.
Yes, they do.
They were gifts to Jesus: frankincense, myrrh.
Yes. Just say frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, they were gifts to Jesus. So, there's nothing bad or hocus pocus or hippy dippy to do with incense.
The entire concept of incense has been around longer than almost any religion when you think about it, because it's been around for as long as people have thought of putting things that smell nice onto a fire.
Exactly. So, is there any questions coming through? No? You gotta speak out, Jim, because I'm not a mind reader.
Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatchers.
Oh. We can explain it, but I am gonna have to find the little thing about the legend that goes with Dreamcatchers. There's a little printout here because I can't think of it off the top of my head, and we've got the store in such disarray because we were doing the window, we were getting stock, we were just doing too much at once. Do you know where that little gray piece of paper is for it? I know I saved it.
I'm not sure on the top of my head.
Commercial break.
So,
backfired on you.
we are sorry about not having too much to talk about tonight. Like I said, this isn't exactly what we have planned to go on tonight. And we aren't fully prepared, and I do apologize for that there. Like I said, if we had known a little bit more ahead of time,
we would have been better
prepared.
So,
But we're not trying to put blame or anything. It's just we're put on the spot a little bit, kind of thing. We weren't ready.
So the legend of the Dreamcatcher. The Ojibwa believes that the night is full of both good and bad dreams. When a dream catcher is hung above the place where you sleep, it moves freely in the night air and catches dreams as they drift by. The good dreams, knowing their way, pass through the opening in the center of the webbing, while the bad dreams, not knowing the way, are caught in the webbing and destroyed at the first light of the morning sun. There's so many religious, spiritual, cultural beliefs about the power of the sun destroying bad vampires. You know what I mean? Werewolves transform back. There's just so much about the power of the sun. There are many variants to the Dreamcatcher legend. Some which say both the good and bad dreams are captured, and some which say good dreams slide down the feather to those sleeping below. Although the Ojibwa are credited as the first people to use dream catchers, many other tribes and native people have adopted dream catchers into their culture. Even though the designs and legends of dream catchers differ slightly, the underlying meaning and symbolism is universal and is carried across cultures and language barriers. That's always kind of nice to know about dream catchers.
Manny Jackie asks, are herbalists still witches? LOL.
Well, they're still wise people.
Herbalists, it depends on which way you want to take it. It could be looked at as a naturopath, possibly.
Yes, today's equation
but,
of herbalist is a naturopath.
There is aspects of herbalism that is incorporated into witchcraft and paganism. However,
and in the kitchen.
Yes, but what most people nowadays would call a herbalist would be more similar to what are understood as the concept of alchemy than it is witchcraft.
So that's a great question, Mom. Thank you. So we could talk a little bit about the chakras. I have little printouts about that.
Could.
Do you have something else you want to talk about?
Not really.
So chakras it is.
I'm almost thinking we might want to leave chakras off for tonight because that could something could even have like a higher.
Yeah, it is. There's quite a lot there.
Manny Jackie asked, did you find the princess tears to order yet?
The what?
Princess tears to order yet.
Princess tears.
Tears.
Princess tears. Apache tears? If you mean Apache tears, yes, I can order them in. The little gargoyles?
Yeah. What they symbol of protection?
Yeah,
Yes.
they were. It was thought to be so ugly and scary it would frighten all their big baddies away.
There's a joke in there.
Yeah. It's not going to help you the morning after the bar.
No.
Unless you eat it.
So, instead of dead air,
We could end for the night. It's better to have a short show than just fill the time.
do you know what? I am all for that. I am so sorry, everybody. I think we are going to end it early. I am fighting a terrible stomach bug. A bad stomach virus, and I don't want to go into Stuart's solution.
I had a bit of a miscommunication earlier and led to a bit of a funny moment.
Yeah.
But again, I apologize for the short show tonight. I'll make sure that we have
Yeah, we can show what we have for runes.
Okay. But since tonight is our rune night, we are going to go ahead and get the runes that we have out of our pigs. Who?
Jen Gillis.
Thank you, Jen. I'm really looking forward to that, and it's not going to involve Jasper.
But
we're going to show you some
apologize. We are going to give some examples of the runes that we do have here in the store, just because it is our rune night.
Yeah.
Completely invisible, Jack.
Yeah, there's some stones too, Jack, at the very back, if you would, please. We'll just show a different variety.
Crawl Cadet.
What?
Crawl Cadet.
And if you have any questions, come on
and the
with
seashell
them.
ones too, please.
We're happy to answer them. I get to be the holder. I'm Vanna White tonight.
Okay.
Turning the letters. They are technically letters. Nora's letters, but letters all the same.
Yes.
So do you want to start with yours?
Okay. So these are one example of the runes that we have here in the store that I make. They are my dice.
Here.
This is sort of what I was talking about with how these are one of the sets where you are going to have the same rune show up more than once. These are $25 for the set, but at the same time, I also do take commissions for these, but they are more expensive because of the extra work that does go into them.
I want to say something else. Are you picking your numbers, people? Before we end the show, Stort is going to do a live reading for somebody. So he's picked his number. Now you guys start guessing your numbers to see who's going to win this personal reading. Sorry.
And we'll do the pick after we've done showing off our runes. But if you do want a custom set done up, it's going to depend on what you want done, kind of thing. And I do charge extra because it does take extra time and materials, and it is a personalized set. But for example, I can.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
What about the old legend or myth of blooding your runes?
That's actually not a legend or a myth. In Norse mythology, the first set of runes that the gods tried to make were made from an ash and an elm tree. And when they carved the runes into the trees, it actually created the first man and woman. So, the idea of blooding the runes goes back to the idea of the creation of man and woman and to give them life. It again goes back to the whole associated with material that wants
So,
life.
with runes that a person wanted to make their own runes,
yes.
Would that be a good? Would it make them closer to their runes?
You can. I personally don't condone it because I don't like the idea of self-harm for the sake of making a product. And I have made runes with blood before, and for divination, it doesn't make any difference, really. Because, once again, I will go back to it. If you're going to have a connection with the runes, you're going to have a connection with the runes no matter what material you make it out of. So, it's something that I don't personally condone for divination runes.
I agree with you there on the self-harming.
Yes. Like, one way that I saw someone put it is that if you are making your own runes, some people will carve the runes into hard materials, and if you happen to slip while you're carving, there's going to be some blood involved, and if that's the case, you can go for it, but at the same time, don't hurt yourself for the sake of blooding your runes.
That's good to know. So, here's your shell ones.
Yes. These are another set of runes that we have here in the shop. These are another set that I made. They are made from seashells. They are $15. And I take commissions for these as well, actually, because they are based off of a set that I had a friend commission for me about 3 years ago. And they had the nice printed rune, or nice painted rune on the top, and then using a strand of wheat, actually, a single strand of wheat, I went in and wrote the meanings of all of the runes on the back.
Oh, that's cool.
so that if you were ever in a place where you couldn't remember what that room meant, you could just flip it over and see what it actually was.
It's also great for beginners. It's kind of
It
like
is. That's
Gypsy
why
Witch.
it went with that there, because it he was just starting to learn runes and he wanted an easy to use set. So I put in the extra time and effort to go a step further for him.
That's excellent. It's like the Gypsy Witch, the little tarot decks that have all the meanings written on the card. So here's another locally produced set.
Mm-hmm. This is another locally produced set. It is a set made from river rocks with gold writing. It is $12.99. And another thing I forgot to mention is that all of our runes do include a small sheet, which does give a basic rundown of all of the runes and what they mean.
Good sheet.
It is. It also gives an example of...
I can't read that. I don't even have my old lady glasses.
So it does have the basic rundown for the runes on one side, and then it does have an introductory example of a reading on the back. All of our sets include it, and it is a good little starting guide.
It is. And this is the last set. Yeah, it's not going to go in there right.
So this is kind of like Runes for Dummies.
Yeah.
Runes 101, simple version. This here is our other set, and it is a set made with green glass and again with gold lettering, and it is $12.99 as well. We are looking to have more sets in very soon. The only thing is that every set of runes that we have in the store right now are locally made, and it's just a matter of getting them more sets in.
It is, and I want to point out, locally made runes, we can actually sell them cheaper.
Yes.
For me to order them online for the wholesaler, it actually costs a bomb. And if it's something you're not really sure about, but you think you might be, it's better not to go out and get the, $50, $60 amethyst set.
Yeah.
That you're only going to play with for a month. So, it's
just for one example, I have a set of runes at home, and they are made from obsidian.
Oh,
and they are the most beautiful runes I've ever seen.
I don't think they are home.
No, they are here, actually. I'm not sure how we'll be able to see them on the camera. But they are made from obsidian, and they are hand-carved by an artist over in Scotland. And they have 24 karat gold dust leafing to accent them. And I'm not sure how good they're going to show up in camera.
Here, I'll take it up.
Just for an example. But they actually cost me, I think it was 55, 60 pounds, which after conversion was about almost $110, $120 Canadian. But
I want to point out, we've got obsidian here.
Yes. In fact, we might start having some expensive fruits in if I can get my hand. Most of the runes in here, I do make, and I sell them here, and I am looking into getting more sets in. I'm looking to get more fancier sets in too, and I do have some tools. Just a matter of getting my tools done up and getting them ready, and just
in the new year, after Mercury retrograde,
yes,
because Mercury retrograde is the fault of everything right now. So it's 1:45.
Okay.
So you want to tell everybody your number? Do people start guessing numbers yet?
4 people.
Okay. The number that I chose for today is 17.
17. 22 is the closest number. There's no numbers from the earlier comments?
No.
So, Terry, it looks like you get the reading. You are the closest at 22. So, Terry's getting... This is Terry's week for readings, isn't it?
Okay.
Are you going to use your obsidian ones?
I'm not sure where my dice are right now.
I believe they're up there.
Okay. I can't use my obsidian one because there is one rune that is missing. That is the reason I try to get my hand tool set up, is so I can replace the one missing rune from my $120 set.
Sorry.
Thank you. Can you pass me that stool, actually? Thank you kindly.
No problem.
Put them on.
Good idea.
Okay. So let's see what the runes have to say for Terry today.
I think we should do a show on pendulums too soon. Well, Terry, you've got one strong message. Hey, I'm gonna be nosy. I'm gonna be a rude reader. Hold on. If you want to talk about... Oh, there we go.
Actually gives us a good chance to go into examples.
Burkana? Yeah, I get nothing. My cards speak to me, they don't.
Okay. So we have the runes are Burkana.
I don't even speak their language. I know that one's protection.
Or Berkano, I mean.
That's right.
Whichever way you wanna. We're not gonna criticize each other on our Gaelic tonight.
I made you say it that way. Look at me go. Yarku? Yeah, I'm seriously not a rune reader. I'm trying though.
Then we have the rune for Yara in reverse.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. I think we're missing something. How can I be accurate?
Over. Gave it to you?
Oh, no, that was not mine. It's the home one though, I know that much.
Yes.
In reverse.
In reverse.
So it's bad on your home. No? Maybe I just... These are mine, I'm keeping them. Oh, you're not playing with a full set anyway. Jacko and I got them all.
It will be the first time I haven't played with a full set of cards. There we go.
There we
got
go.
right past it. And then
It's Jim's fault.
rune Othala in reverse. And then we have Berkano in reverse as well. Or
Twice.
yes. Or no, it showed up in proper ones and then reverse
the second.
the second.
But you got the stone twice. So, Mum, there's your doubles.
Yes, that's an example of how this second have doubles. Okay. Here I am using my little blatantly using my little cheat sheet.
You know, it's hard to do when you're caught so off guard like we were tonight.
Yeah.
It's hard to do and get your thoughts all together when you're just trying, what can I do to talk about that's not boring to fill time? I'm trying to talk to give you time to think. But my talk is probably distracting you from your thinking.
A little bit.
Just say it. Shut up, Carrie. Shut up, Carrie.
They're actually giving a very clear message now that I actually get a chance to look at them of expecting a new setback due to some kind of reckless act.
Oh, go cautiously. Mercury's in retrograde. It's all Mercury's fault, Terry. It's all its fault.
And possibly caused by family problems or losing control.
Don't do anything till the 23rd when it's over.
Yes, if Mercury can just get out of retrograde, it'd make everyone's life so much better.
Yeah.
And I know I'm personally getting tired of Mercury retrograde because I'm getting so many mixed messages whenever I do a reading. Or it'll be like one day, let's talk about the weather. Next day, let's talk about the weather. Oh, by the way, and then it's like the next day, it's like, oh, by the way, expect some very serious crap to go on today.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
But I will admit to one thing. I love having an excuse to blame everything on.
Mm-hmm. It is always nice to have an excuse.
Justifying.
Yes.
It's all Mercury's fault. I didn't do it. There's a song, It Wasn't Me, Shaggy. It wasn't me, it was Mercury. That's my version. I know. And I'm not singing it here, but it's all Mercury's fault.
So that's all that we really have for a show tonight. And again, I apologize for our lackluster show. We were kind of put on the spot. We weren't fully prepared.
But we don't want Jennifer to be on the stage.
but we didn't want to put our guest in a position where they could potentially be at risk or at harm.
Especially with your rooms. All about the weather and bad stuff and Mercury.
Pretty much every time we've asked them, they've been warning us about weather and something coming up to expect.
And my cards are all about, everything's in conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just better to be safe than sorry. But Jen, weather world permitting, we'll be here next week. So pray to the weather gods. Get those rainmakers out there. Those thunder drums and make it go away.
Speaking of repeating messages with friends, this is something that something that I think I would like to bring up because it's something that I've had happen in a few readings I've done the last couple of months. I've had a few readings, and the runes for family problems, anxiety, and problems at home will show up, as well as the runes for ice and time of year and to give a gift. And all I can say is that my runes don't have a very happy perception of Christmas.
No, they do not. They are not friendly towards Christmas at all.
No.
So don't forget, everybody, that beautiful picture that Jim painted is a silent auction to help us get better equipment. Friday night is community night. Saturday is the book signing. And our Christmas hours, there won't be any podcasts or daily readings when the store is closed. Over the Christmas break, we're going to take some much-deserved family time off.
Yes, and very much needed me time.
Yes, and store's actually going home, so we're going to hope you have safe travels.
Yes.
And that your rooms are going to get more friendly.
I'm very looking forward to it. I have a few plans for travel in the next upcoming months, and I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. So, with that being said, unless there's any more questions, take care, everybody. Remember, a small act of kindness goes a long, long way. Oh, Kyle's sitting up like he's got something to say.
We have 2 comments. One I kind of didn't say earlier because I didn't realize it was there. Terry says, LOL, I love when Stuart says, And then he says, oh, buddy, thanks for the reading, Lo.
Okay. Sorry it wasn't a happy one, but at the very least, now you know what to expect.
Yes, don't do anything till Mercury's gone out of retrograde.
Oh, I just had one more thing that I wanted to mention that I was going to say.
Did you forget it?
Yes.
All right. That's how prepared we are.
Now Oh, right. We would like to mention again, just because it is our podcast, I wanted to mention this, is that we do have a crowdsource pool going in order to raise the funds as well. And we currently have about $50 of our $500 goal. And I will share that later on. And if anyone wants to donate, they're more than welcome to. We don't expect it. It's just that we appreciate it. And I'll share that later in case anyone wants to help us put on a better show.
It will help us bring better shows to you. Like tonight, with the roads being crappy, we could have video chatted with Jennifer Collins instead of an impromptu, spur of the moment, thinking out of our hat show. So, take care, and we will see you next week with Jennifer. So, love to everybody, and just a small act of kindness goes a long, long way. And that's it for me.
All right. Have a nice night, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Yes, for the daily reading. We never stop. We're like the Energizer Bunnies.